Hey everyone, it's Melody here. I'm actually with Design by Melody, but I'm here for the Something Inspiration team with Crafty Channel Surf. So my prompt today is actually something fun. So I wasn't exactly sure what to start with on this layout. So what I did is I pulled out the kit that I'm currently working with, which is actually a hip kit from back in 2015. And I start to kind of sort through the products a little bit. You're going to see that most of these things don't get used. The only two, or I guess there's three things that get used from this kit are this pink tag, this vellum bag, and then the washi tape. The rest of the things that I'm kind of sorting through here are not going to get used. So I'm going to go ahead and set some of those aside. I'm going to keep them out for a little bit first as I kind of figure out what I'm going to do, but I am going to set the rest of it aside. So what I decided to do with the prompt being something fun, I decided to go ahead and pull out some of the new products that I've received here recently. Now these are not new, like newly sold items. Most of these items are actually a little bit older. Some of them were gifted to me. This box that I'm going through right now is from, these are all items from Chic Tags. And I believe it's their Cloud 9 collection is what I'm pulling most of the things from. But these are, I have newly acquired them, so I really haven't gotten a chance to use them yet. I'm also going to pull out some 12 by 12 paper pads here that are new to me as well. I purchased them at Tuesday morning. I purchased them a little while ago, but I haven't used them yet. So these are new paper pads. And then I'm also going to pull out some 6 by 6 pads as well that I'm going to pull from. So those are also fairly new to me as well. So for something fun, I decided to pull out some new products that I haven't actually used. This is the Hey Kid collection from Pink Paisley, I believe that's correct. Now I'm not going to pull anything from here, but I wanted to kind of keep it in here because that is one of the paper pads that I pulled to go through. And then this one is actually from Pink Paisley, and it's the Hello Sunshine 12 by 12 pad. And I'm actually going to pull 3 different papers from this one. And I do use these some of these papers on other layouts that I created after I actually made this one. I made this one a few days ago, and I was on a pretty good kick that day. I did like 3 layouts in one day. So I end up using this paper pad even after that. So it actually really kind of inspired me to do other layouts as well. I'm only showing you one here, but when you take a prompt, for me anyways, it kind of starts the creative juices flowing, and then I can just continue to go. So I'm pulling out 3 different papers here, and I am only going to settle on one, and you're going to see that originally I cut it down to 8.5 by 11. So the other part of this is that Daisy on, I believe it was October 3rd for the Something Inspiration team, had the prompt of something new, and she decided to use a new size layout, which was 8.5 by 11. I'm pretty sure she used 8.5 by 11. If you haven't watched her video, go back and check it out because it's really good. But it made me think about, that would be fun to try a different size as well. So I decided to also do an 8.5 by 11 layout with this one as something fun. It's just kind of something different, something that I haven't worked with in quite a while. So I'm using new products, which is always fun to use. And then I'm also using a different size layout. So that's kind of fun for me as well. However, for me, because it is something that I haven't done in quite some time, I struggled a little bit with the placement of my embellishments. And I started out with the photo being 4 by 6. And since it was something that I haven't done in a while, being an 8.5 by 11 layout, I kind of forgot that a 4 by 6 photo on an 8.5 by 11 page is actually quite large. And so I end up trimming it down a little bit. And I think it ends up, I didn't actually measure it, but it probably ends up like 3.5 by 4.5 or so by the time I trim it down, because I do trim it down and then I remat it on some white cardstock, which you will see. But I'm just kind of playing around with the embellishments that I've pulled out. A couple of the cards that I pulled out, but they're going to get ditched here in a minute. I'm not going to use those. I'm only going to end up using that tag and that glassine bag, as well as the washi tape from that original hip kit club that I started with. That is one thing I like to do, and it kind of helps me just, in case you're interested. That's one of the things I like to do with my stash, is that I like to use previous kits. I like to use kits, even if they're old kits. I like to use those. I work a lot better when I have a limited supply or limited pile of supplies to use on a layout versus having my entire stash. Now, some people work really well with having their stash because they want to have all the options available to them, but me, not so much. I need a little bit more of a limited stash. Otherwise, I will constantly sort through and find things and say, oh, well, this could look good, or this could look good, or I may sort through 15 12 by 12 paper pads to find the one perfect paper. So for me, having a limited supply is just a little bit easier to work with. And so what I had done is just pulled out, I keep my supplies sorted by manufacturer. And as you can see, this 6x6 paper is also from Pink Paisley, and it is from, let's see, it's from the Pink Paisley Memorandum 6x6 pad. So I pulled out my Pink Paisley stash. I have it in like these, I think they're 13 by 15 Ziploc bags. And so I keep a lot of my stash sorted by manufacturer. So it was really easy for me to kind of coordinate the supplies because I'm pulling the papers all from Pink Paisley. So this is where I decided, okay, the background paper is just too busy for me. So I'm going to take a piece of white cardstock. It is cut to 8.5 by 11. I will have to trim it in a second. And then I used the offcut from that gray striped paper and just created two little borders, down one at the bottom and one at the top. And I cut them kind of askew just to add some interest. And I purposefully left a little bit of a white border on the other side of the gray paper as well. I just found that interesting. I find it visually appealing to have something like that at the top and at the bottom of the layout. Now, it does create a bit of a problem because I end up feeling like it's not balanced because I've got the diagonal line at the top and the diagonal line at the bottom. I feel like my page isn't straight, so I end up measuring at one point, which I believe I cut out of the video so you don't see that. But I do have to measure it because I feel like it doesn't look even, and it doesn't because of the the diagonal border at the top and the bottom. So trying something fun has actually really challenged me to do something incredibly different than what my normal layouts are. If you flip through my album, I do have 8.5 by 11 pages in there, but they're a little bit more insert-like instead of necessarily scrapbook pages. So it may be a certificate that Kaylin got at school, or it may be a copy of his report card or something like that. I don't actually have very many 8.5 by 11 layouts, but doing this has really inspired me, and I've done at least one more 8.5 by 11 layout since I completed this page, but I think I actually have done two. I'll have to go back and check on my desk and see what I have laying there. I have all my layouts. I had one weekend where I really had time to just sit down and scrap, and I kicked out a whole bunch of different layouts. I think I had done, like I said I did 3 or 4 on this day that I did this one, and then I did a couple the following day as well. So it was really nice to be in that scrappy mode, and get time to do multiple layouts. Usually I don't have the time to do more than just one, if even that, on a day. So the 8.5 by 11 layouts actually came together a little bit quicker once I got in the mode of the 8.5 by 11. So I'm definitely going to be doing more of this in the future. I'm pulling out some alphas here. I wanted something to kind of match that pink, and there are different tones of pink on that tag. So these alphas are from Simple Story, Sunshine and Happiness. I'm definitely sensing a sunshine theme here. So we are going into fall here. I'm in North Carolina, and it's gotten kind of cool in the morning and breezy in the afternoon, and it's absolutely beautiful. So I think it's funny that all of the collections that I'm working with here are sunshine related, but I really like the colors. I like the teal and the pink and the gray and the white. I think they look really nice together, especially because Kaylin's got kind of a pink shirt on, and my mom has a teal shirt on. So I think the colors work really well with the what's in the photo. And then of course we're in my car, so the background is kind of gray with the inside of the car. So I really feel like the colors work really well with this photo. So here's where I'm starting to struggle with the size of the 4x6 photo. And you're going to see that I'm going to, in just a moment, figure out that that's what the problem is and cut it down a little bit. There is some extra space on either side of my mom and Kaylin, so Kaylin is my son, by the way, if you are new to my channel, and that is my mother, and they have this really awesome relationship. He is her first grandchild, so he's the oldest, and there are 3 boys behind him in the grandson line. We don't have any, I don't have any nieces, and I only have him, so It's really funny that we have 4 boys. I only have sisters. I didn't have any brothers. I only have sisters, and we all only have boys. So our family get-togethers are quite interesting. My son is 6 years old, and then there's 3 boys that are younger than him. So our family events are loud. Oh my goodness, they are so loud, but they're a lot of fun. And I just like to capture the relationship that he and my mom have, because they have an incredibly special relationship. And I'm really grateful for how, even though we don't live in the same town, we live about 3 hours away. Even though we don't live as close to her as the other grandsons do, she really has a special relationship with him, and he absolutely adores her. So I've just trimmed my photo down a little bit. I'm rematting it on some white cardstock, and then I'm going to actually adhere it down. And I'm going to use that glassine bag just to do a little bit of separation between the photo and that background paper. But I think it's going to pull in some really nice colors here to have all these 3 different colors on this layout. I will read my journaling to you because I'm going to be doing that soon. The journaling, I'm just going to put on that tag. It says, "These two are so much fun together. I love seeing their relationship stay the same even as Kaylin gets older. Still just the best together." They really are. They have so much fun. He just loves hanging out with my mom. I think we were on our way to dinner in this picture. I'm pretty sure that's what that was. So I'm working with the tag here. I'm going to embellish it. I'm going to use some of those Cloud 9 embellishments from Chic Tags to actually embellish this. And I'm going to I had thought I was going to put that ticket that says "You are my favorite," but I'm going to end up taking that out because it was covering up a little too much of that pink for me. I am going to put something down there on the pink, but I'll do that in a moment. I have this Always Together, and that really ties into the journaling that I'm going to write. I just trimmed off a little bit of the edge of it so it didn't stick so far off the tag. And then I have this 9 on this little circle embellishment, so it says Cloud 9 basically, but I'm just going to use the edge of the cloud that has the heart, and then I'm going to layer a puffy heart over top of that to pull in a little bit more of the pink to that side. The Always Together has that pink and that teal. It really coordinates, even though these embellishments from Chic Tags have nothing to do with the pink paisley papers. They really coordinate well together though, especially with that flare badge at the bottom. That flare badge, which I layered over the washi tape, actually says "Everyday Goodness." Now, I will have some still photos at the end of this video, so if you cannot see what these things say, you can definitely, you'll be able to see them at the end in the still photos. And when I'm journaling on a tag like this, I draw a couple lines, I write a little bit, and then I draw more. I only draw the lines kind of as I write on them, so I don't have extra lines. And then also to make sure that I think through what I'm writing and make sure I don't overwrite or underwrite. I want to make sure that the journaling fits exactly on the lines. Now I have a little bag of what I call little bits, which are like enamel dots or little puffy stickers or hearts and things like that. And I keep them all in a little mesh bag, and I pull them out just for times like this when the layout is almost complete but not quite there. So I'm pulling out a few enamel dots. I'm also pulling out some little gray heart stickers, and then also these Sticko Everyday Puffy Heart stickers. And these are going to be the things that I use to add just the final finishing touches to this layout. I hope you guys have found that this layout has inspired you to pull out maybe your new products and try something fun with those. I find that we hoard some of our newer products, even if they may not be newly released products, just newly acquired products. I usually hoard those, and I set those aside and I say, oh, I'm going to use them for, I don't know, something special. Well, that something special never seems to come, and I end up with a lot of products sitting on the side that I just haven't used yet. So I am challenging you to pull out some of your new fun products and try to do a layout with those instead of hoarding them, and just maybe try a new layout size. Daisy inspired me with that one. And I thought it would be fun to try a different size as well. Now, I really have loved it, so I'm definitely going to be adding that into my normal scrapbooking. I just have to do a little bit of pre-planning, because if I do an 8.5 by 11 layout on one side of Page Protector, it has to be the same on the other side. So I just have to kind of keep that in mind as I'm printing my photos, thinking about what's going to be on the opposite side. But it's given me the opportunity to do this type of layout again right after it. So we are nearing the end of this layout. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you so much for joining me today with my layout for something fun. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.